Hello and what is up, guys? My name is Jager-M from Screencasters, and you know what time it is. It's time for me to update my Cyber Dragons to the channel. As you guys may know, Chicken Game has gotten banned, so the previous build is currently unplayable. So I'm going to update the build and show you guys my new choices and text. So without further ado, let's get started. One thing I want to point out is that this build doesn't rely on fusing from the deck or rank 5 spamming. It's more so a balance between the two, and I'll be explaining it as I'm going along. So without further ado, let's get started. 3 Cyber Dragon, you need them. He's your star of the deck. He's the core, you need him. Speaking of core, you run 3 of him too. I don't know why you wouldn't run 3. He is one of the best cards in this deck. Banish him from your graveyard is for summon this guy, or your Dre. Core is also your searcher for Cyber Repair Plant. Dry, I still like him at 3. I still hate the card with a passion because he does limit you in terms of rank 5 spamming. But he does what he needs to. It makes him all level 5, and he's another Cyber Dragon to fuse for, so that's pretty good. Last of the 3 Elves, 3 Galaxy Soldier, helps with rank 5 spamming. You could also power bond 2 of them together to make Parascycloid, which is pretty good. I added him back to the deck for that nice sack factor, so it's really good for what it is. 1 Toon Cyber Dragon, 1 Zwei, 1 Elton, and rounding out the monsters, 1 Electromagnetic Turtle. These 2 are good for what they're used for. Toon Cyber Dragon is there for the rank 5 spamming when you special summon them. Zwei, I really wish there was better Cyber Dragons available to us, but of all the Cyber Dragons that I'm not playing, I'd rather play as Zwei than any of them. But only have 1 for diffusing, because you power bond him from hand to make Chimeratech, or on field to make Cyber Twin, so that's pretty good. Elton is your searchable Dark Hole, which is very good. He doesn't target, he doesn't destroy, he's Sen, so he's good for the random Magic Spectre matchup, or against Cosmos if you really want to. However, the best out to Cosmos in the main deck is actually our Cyber Dragon, because you can contact fuse him for Fortress Dragon. And Electromagnetic Turtle, he's pretty good. It's just something I've thrown in at the last second, though. I have been trying him out, though, often. He has saved me a few games, though, I can say that, in the past. So he's good for what he's there for. You can also dump him with Rampage Dragon, so that's pretty good. He's also Light Machine, so he's searchable. So yeah, that's it for the main deck monsters. It's pretty decent for a Cyber Dragon deck. For the spells, 3 Repair Plant, you need it. What more can I say? It searches all your Cyber Dragon stuff. Everything in the main deck can be searched with the Cyber Repair Plant, so that's pretty good synergy. 3 Power Bond. This does focus on Power Bond and the rank 5 spamming, and I think they correlate pretty well together. So, you know, 3 is just doing well. I don't know why people wouldn't run 3. It is your win condition. This is what single-handedly wins you games. You can resolve it and get those attacks through, you win. So I really do love this card. Plus, it sets you up for the Overload Fusion, because one thing you could do is Power Bond into Cyber Twin with 2 actual Cyber Dragons and overload those targets out of the graveyard to make Rampage, and you know, that's pretty a standard OTK. Or you can go into 2 Rampage Dragons, so that's pretty good. You know, good for that fusing OTK this deck is kind of known for, and for the rank 5 spamming, which we'll get to in a second. Last diffusing stuff, 2 Conscriptions. Some people like 3, I prefer 2. Just like Instant Fusion, if you have multiples in your hand, you can't resolve it, but it's really good for what it is. It helps search out your Cyber Dragons when you build a Cyber Twin, which is good, but you can't summon them that turn. But that doesn't really matter because you'll be power bonding them or overload fusing them, so it eases itself out. 2 Instant Fusion for some rank 5 spamming. Only 2 because, as I said before, if you have multiples, you can't resolve them. You don't have to see it because you can work on your board without it because of Power Bond and stuff like that. The standard core play. We're also running 2 Machine Duplications. I like this. It's kind of subpar sometimes because you don't always have core. Core is good for what it is, and if you do your core normal summon play to get your repair plan, you can do these to get 2 more Cyber Dragons. That will set you up for Power Bond and Overload. The problem with that is it's kind of dead later on, but in all honesty, you can recycle them back into your deck with Repair Plan, so it's not as dead as you think it is. It's still worth a try, and the +1 is still very good. And last of 2 O's, 2 Twin Twisters, because back row is a thing. You have to nuke it. This deck does lose heavily to back row, and you don't really want to be Chimeratech Rampage Dragoning your opponent's back row if there's like 5 of them. So it's best to get as much of it out of the way as you can, and then just nuking it with the Rampage after you Twin Twist them. So that's pretty good. For 1 of spells, we do 1 Limiter, 1 Foolish, 1 Regeki, Dark Hole, and 1 Day of Peace. A lot of people have been cutting 1 Day of Peace. I can understand why. it's okay, but usually when you resolve your power bond, you're going to be winning that turn. You basically got their board already nuked, they have no monster in the field, no spells and traps basically, and you're going for gain. The burn damage is real with this deck, so one day a piece is pretty good for that. And it's a main deck out to like any burn deck if you feel like, you know, the core plays is good enough for you. Regeki Dark Hole, with Cosmos running around, they're kind of your best matchup, honestly, against the meta decks because you can just contact fuse all their big ships. But with the Fire King Island, I highly think that a lot of them are going to be trying it out, seeing how it works for them, and they can do some really insane boards with that. So Regeki Dark Hole is pretty much the best outs for that. Also, you can search out your Eltonin with Repair Plant for a third Dark Hole, basically. So that's pretty good, but these right now are just amazing, this format. I feel like board wipes are the way to go, in this deck at least. Foolish Burial, send that core, make sure Repair Plant's live. It's just a good card, consistency. And Litter Removal, the most OTK, this card does so many freaking OTKs, I love this card. Any board becomes an OTK board when you have Limb Removal. So that's it for the spells. Last the main deck, 3 traps, you know what they are by now. 3 Reckless Greeds, it's just amazing. That draw power, you have a lot of combo pieces, so get into them. In all honesty, you could also add in the 1 Upstart for even more consistency. So that's it for the main deck off the extra deck. 1 Infinity and 2 Novas. This is basically the heart and soul of the rank 5 spamming. Why you want to rank 5 spam? Because Infinity. Infinity is such a good card that people were maining it during PTAL format, which was Pepe format, just so they can make it. It's just a really good card. It's essentially your boss monster, one of them, along with Rampage, but it's just really good. The free negate's really good, and if you can back them up with a lot of other things, like Pleiades and other stun factors, it's really good. 2 Cyber Dragon Novas, you do go into 2 often, but if they get destroyed, it's not too bad because you bring up Barbaroid, but people don't seem to understand that sometimes, so I have to re-explain it all the time. Like, why do you run Barbaroid? That's because of Nova. And the last, the machines, basically, for rank 5 is the Mayo. When you activate Dry's Effect, you can only go into machines for the entire turn, not just rest of the turn, which makes it a little bit worse than Conscription in terms of usage, but Zenmai's another thing to go into, and he helps with the back row, so he's pretty good and pretty beefy at 2600. We do 1 Tiras, 1 Pleiades, 1 Volcasaurus, rounding out the extra, not really the extra, rounding out the rank 5s. Tiras is still really good, people still are not sure about maining it. I main it because there have been times where Tiras has came in through for me, so I love him, he's pretty cool, and the 26 attack is not too bad. Pleiades, one of the best rank 5s at the moment, one of the best diseases at the moment, is just awesome. 25, easy to make and bouncing. And 1 Volcasaurus for burn damage. So yeah, that's it for the rank 5s. For the fusions, 2 Rampage Dragon and 1 Cyber Twin and 1 Parapsychroid for your power bond targets. Now these 2 are your overload targets, but they're really good. You don't want to waste them though. Whenever you bring these guys out, you basically have to realize that I'm going to OTK this turn. I'm going for game this turn. I'm going all in. That's how Cyber Dragons are basically supposed to be played, in my opinion. You go in, you OTK them, you don't think about it as much, you go for game, like as soon as you can. Like that's what a deck's real power is, because they can swarm easy, they get huge attacks, and they could really just overwhelm the opponent really easy. So yeah, Chimeratech, he's good at 2, you can try 3, but I took out the 3rd one for Cyber Twin because of Conscription, and also this card is just really good because you can power bond him, then overload to this guy for the back row. He's good for what he is. I do like him. You could try to take him out for a 3rd Rampage, but I do like this card for Conscription, and also he's just a general good beater, so you know, he's just good for what he is. Also, you can bring him out with Nova dies, so that's alright. I mean, Barbaroid can't attack directly, so it's something good to consider. And Parapsychroid, I've cut him out for a long time. I did put him back. He's good for what he is. He's good Saki, 3200 per game. If you're not sure about the power bonding and you go into him, you only take 1600 damage as opposed to like 28 or 21, so it's not too bad. And he can attack directly and he keeps the attack. And he's level 5, so you can overlay with him. And technically he's an instant fusion target, so you know that's pretty good. For the randoms, we do 1 Fortress Dragon, 1 Barbaroid. Realistically speaking, you're not going to go into 2 Fortress Dragons. If you go against Cosmos and resolve the first Fortress Dragon, you kind of already win. You're so far ahead of your opponent because they lost all their ships. They won't float. You contact them for free. It's awesome. If you can find room in the extra deck, which I feel is very hard because it's very tight right now, you can try to, because Cosmos is basically going to be arguably the best deck right now. But you can try to, but I honestly feel like 1 because you won't really be using 1, right? And the extra deck is already tight enough. And Barbaroid, you bring him out when Cyber Dragon Nova dies, so that's just something to consider. He's the best target, good for what he is. And last, the extra deck, 2 instant fusion targets, which are Panzer Dragon. I love this card. It's basically an auto-ray Cyber Dragon. You can instant fuse them, bring them out, overlay with them, or just let them die during end phase because instant fusion effect, and pop a free card. So that's pretty good. So yeah, guys, that is the Cyberdragon deck profile update for May. It's a really fun deck. I highly recommend it if you're starting new to the game. This is one of the decks that got me back into the game, so I do have a lot of good memories of it. I will be updating it through every format and every month or whatever, however I feel like it. It's a fun deck, so try it out. It's easy to learn, hard to master. So yeah, comment down below your thoughts on this, why I didn't run a certain card, why I did run a certain card, you know, the ratios and stuff. Just comment down below anything you're thinking. I'll be answering you guys as I usually do. So yeah, don't forget to drop me a like so I know you guys want to see more videos like this. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, which is Screencasters, for more epic and amazing videos similar to this one. Once again, my name is Jager from Screencasters. I am signing out. See you guys.